Hey everybody, Erica Sirwin here from Pink Bucker Designs, and it's day 4 of our Christmas in July craft along series. If you haven't joined me in the previous 3 days, here are all the projects that we've made. Today's blog post has links to day 1, 2, and 3, so you can find them easily if you want to go back and check them out. We are featuring the Jolly Holly bundle, which is this right here. It comes with this hybrid embossing folder and dies, and then the Jar of Joy stamp set and the Sweetest Jar Builder Punch. Now, before I get started today, I do want to let you know that it is the second day of free shipping. Hallelujah. So if you have a wish list, make sure that you get that order in. It is July 23rd, 24th, and 25th, and it's free shipping on orders over $75, okay? So I get emails every time we do free shipping that they put in an order, but they didn't get free shipping. You have to read the important information. It says on orders over $75, which is not hard to get, right? So just a reminder, also if you order this week, I'm going to send you the PDF for the Christmas in July craft along for free. It's a 30-page PDF, has measurements, supply list, and written instructions for all 12 projects. And as always, I send out the All-Star tutorial video class PDF to anybody who spends over $50 with me in July. So that will be included as well. So lots of goodies, lots of reasons to shop this week. Okay, so here are the cards we're going to make. I love the pink one, non-traditional color, makes me really happy. So we're going to do that, and we're going to use both the stamp sets and the die and the punch today. We're using it all. Okay, first thing we need to do is to pull out all of our paper. This is a craft along, so of course we are I'm going to show you how to cut the paper. Let's look at the designer series paper. The first card, and you might not really even see it very well unless you look close. It has a piece of DSP, and we're actually going to put one on the inside as well. And it is this, let's see if I can find it, this pattern right here. Okay, so find that pattern, and you're going to cut 2 pieces. Let me look at my instructions, make sure I get it right. 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, so I'm just going to cut it down long ways first. 5 1/8 and 2. We need 3 7/8, 2 of them. So there's 1. This is just going to create a very skinny, narrow border around our white piece. Okay, so there we've got that. How about the other designer series paper, the Country Woods designer series paper for our second card? We want that cute shiplap. I think yes, we have used this, so I can pull out my scrap bin. If you got the kit, I'm sorry, I'm having like a deep breath issue. Do you guys ever do that? Like where you can't get your breath, you can't catch your breath? Someone told me it's perimenopause. Thank you very much. But anyway, if you hear me, that's what it is. I'm fine. It's just annoying. Anyways, if you got the kit from me, you got this little bin, which makes the perfect little place to put all your scraps. So I like to use scraps as much as I can. And this keeps them all in the same place. All right. So now I got to switch over to this page. I think I know the measurement, but I want to make sure I get it right. Let's see, Country Woods. Oh no, I was going to do it wrong. 4 1/8. That's why we got to measure. What is it? Measure twice, cut once. Yeah, I don't follow that rule very well. Never have. With fabric, with anything. All right, so there's that. Then it says a 3 3/4 times. Are we doing math today? 3/4 by 4 inches, and that's just going to be for the inside. All right, I'm going to put that back in my little scrap bin. Cut this one. What does it say? 4. Okay. All right, so we've got the pattern paper. Now let's do our card bases. Do you guys keep a scrap like that? I mean, it would be a great little edge, right, on a card. Yeah, I think we need to keep that. It's always an internal debate. Like, do I keep this one? Do I not? All right, we're going to need Pretty in Pink. So get out your cardstock. Pretty in Pink, and the other one is Basic Gray. Okay, 4 1/4 by 11 for both of them. So you can make your card with the fold on the top so that it opens like this, boop, 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 boop. Or you can make it where the fold is on the side and opens like that. I have always made mine like this for many years, and the reason I do it is because it photographs. I think it photographs better that way. You know, I think a normal card, if you were to go to a card store or the grocery store, whatever, would have the fold on the side, but you decide, that's up to you. Either way, you would cut your cardstock. If you want the fold at the top, you cut it in half up here on the short end. If you want the fold on the side, then you would take your full sheet of cardstock and cut it on the long side at 5.5. All right, so let's score it at 5.5. Park the dark. That's my new little saying to remember not to cut instead of score. Okay, score that one. Now you'll notice mine is a little bit different. We all, the 6 of us, texted each other our projects a month ago, and I sat down and made them, and I didn't have the directions. I just kind of eyeballed it. So, you know, from photos, you can't always tell exactly what it looks like. So mine might be a little bit different. Okay, cherry cobbler. Let's go back to this card right here. And I noticed in my scrap bin, I had a scrap of cherry cobbler that literally is exactly the right size. Well, not exactly. I need to cut it down a little bit. 4 1/4. Cherry cobbler 2 by 4 1/4. So if you have your scraps, let me see, is it 2? Yeah. So if you have your scraps, grab them. All right. We need a scrap for the lid punch. I don't think I can punch the lid punch out of that. So I'm just going to do it right here. We're not going to stamp it. You know, the lid punch you can stamp and punch, or you can just punch. We're just going to punch it today. And then a scrap for the sentiment, which I think that little scrap would be perfect. Okay, how about white? We haven't done any of our white, so let's get out our basic white. And we're going to do 4 by 5 1/4. I think we actually need a 4. Don't we need, no, I'm wrong. Okay, ignore me. 4 by 5 1/4. And this one is for the gray card. So put that one over there. We need 1/2 inch by 3. That's going to be our sentiment, which I'm going to cut after I stamp, and then the jar. So we'll leave that. We're not going to cut that ahead of time. All right, so I think I've got everything for that card. So then for the other one, we need 2 pieces of basic white, 3 3/4 by 5. So 3 3/4 by 5. I feel like I've been kind of messy this morning with these cuts, so I'm gonna lay the pieces out so you can see them because I've kind of bounced around. All right, what about that scrap? Possibly. I'm just gonna put all my scrap in. All right, I think we're done with our cardstock. So let's look at what we have. We need that white piece for stamping. I'm going to pull that white piece out. We definitely need some stamping paper, okay? All right, so for our first card, these are the pieces that you need. And then a little bit, oh, we've got to cut. We're going to cut a little, boop, boop, boop. We'll do that. And then for the second card, you need the gray, the 4 by 5 1/4, 4 by 5 1/4, the strip, cherry cobbler lid, and scrap. Okay, we'll put that aside and we'll do that one second. Okay, let's do our die cutting first. So we're gonna need to stamp this guy and this guy in cherry cobbler. Now this is a really cool technique that I'm gonna show you with your Wink of Stella. Okay, so I've stamped them both in cherry cobbler, and I'm going to get my Wink of Stella, and I'm going to pull that color. Wink of Stella kind of acts like a blender pen or an aqua painter so you can kind of pull the color, you know, out like that. What about the bells? Yeah, little bells. Okay, let's do, whoa, for some reason my Wink of Stella is being real. Do I have a paper towel? For some reason, my Wink of Stella is coming out really like heavy, and I'm not even squeezing it. So I don't know what that's about. I gotta be careful with that. Okay, you wanna run your Wink of Stella again after you do that, because it will carry a little bit of that color on there, and you don't want that to happen. Now, you'll notice the instructions, if you read the instructions, will say fussy cut with your scissors, but there's actually dies. Sometimes when we have new product, we don't realize there are dies for something. It takes us a while to use it to realize, oh, look at those dies right there. All right, so get those set up. Now let's see, do we need the smaller? I think we need the larger rectangle. Yeah, so you're gonna want to do the larger of the two. Okay, careful, put that down. Run that through. And here are our pieces. Make sure you put your dies back so you don't lose them. All right, there we go. Now, if I can find a place on my messy desk for my cut and emboss machine. Grab one of those white pieces, bring your cherry cobbler back and that little poinsettia, and we're gonna stamp it about 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think we can get 5. About an inch away from the edge. Now let's see, do I wanna do 5? Somehow I feel like 4, yeah, let's do 5. I probably didn't get them close enough, but we're gonna just go with it. All right, again with your Wink of Stella, you're gonna brush those leaves. It just gives a little bit of color. No need for your Stampin' Blends. And really, only the left side of these need to be colored. Well, gosh, I am being really messy with this Wink of Stella. I need to maybe get a new one. I don't know what's happening. It's really, really like gushing out without me even squeezing it. That is not supposed to happen. Okay. Now get one of your DSPs, and I'm trying to think, do I want to use dimensionals? No, I think we'll use dimensionals underneath a DSP. Now, if you cut it right, it should just be a very narrow border like that, okay? And then grab that ribbon that came in your kit if you got it. If not, it's the Mossy Meadow and Gold. And we're gonna tie this. Make sure it's laying flat in the back. All right, we're gonna tie a bow. It's a little bit awkward because your paper's light. Just go slow, straightening out your ribbon as you go, and then you can pull the tails, pull the little legs, and then trim those ends at an angle. Okay, let's get this ribbon a little bit more to the left side, like that. And now grab your dimensionals. Oh, you know, we've got to stamp our sentiment. Hold on. We can't do that. We can't put it on yet. We've got to stamp. All right, so this time we're going to use Mossy Meadow to match our ribbon. And we're gonna put together, let me show you, you're gonna need Holly Jolly and then Hava and Christmas. Okay, so get the Holly Jolly, get your Holly Jolly, where is my Holly Jolly? Right here. And we're gonna start with that right in the middle. Okay, and then your have a Holly Jolly Christmas. Okay, move that out of the way. And now we could put that right there. Like that. I'm gonna move my ribbon down just a bit to cover up a little boo-boo on one of my leaves where the Wink of Stella kind of bled out. All right, and then we're gonna get those bells and we're gonna put them right here like that. Okay, now bring over your card base. We are gonna use dimensionals here. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Get that and put that right there. Very cute. Okay, now on the inside, now I didn't originally do my inside, so I'm going to take a little peek, not a sneak peek, but a peek at the PDF and see what Jen did. Okay, so now we're going to take our adhesive, and again, this is a great way, like we did 2 days ago or yesterday, where we carry over that DSP on the inside. This DSP pack has 4 of each piece, so you're really getting a lot. So use it. Don't hoard your paper. Use it. Sometimes we have paper and it's so beautiful we don't want to use it. Guilty. But don't do that. Okay, and then this little guy carrying over this part of the design, we're going to put right here. All right, do we put, let's see, should we use our little dots? I think so. What color? Let's use the green. And I think we could put a little green dot right there. Very cute. And then we'll take one big one, one small one, and another little small one down there. And there's your first card. You guys, you know I love pink, so I absolutely love this card. All right, there we go. There's our first one. Now let's do our second one. I've got a fun technique to show you here with your designer series paper. Grab your scissors, and of course I'm going to say paper snips because they're the best. And you're just going to run the edge, whoops, down the edge. If that happens, that's good. You want it to look distressed. Go easy. You don't want to like tear it in half. But if you get those little tears like that, that is adding to the technique, the distressed technique. Now we used to have a tool for this. We don't have it anymore. If you still have it, the little, I don't even know what it was called, but if you have it, you can use that too. Be careful with your snips. They are so sharp. All right. So now we've got all the edges distressed. I like the little tears. So if you didn't tear, I think you should add in some tears. All right, let's put, like you can see it a little bit better on this darker side. All right, let's put this here like that. And I'm gonna kind of take that corner and just kind of fold it over a little bit like that. All right, now we are gonna emboss this time with that really beautiful embossing folder. Let's see if I can find mine in the giant pile of stuff here on my desk. So you need your cherry cobbler piece. And we are gonna take off all the plates. Do I have my embossing plate? That is the question. I gotta find it. Put this in here. And I saw something from Stampin' Up! That said, put the fold in first. I've always done it the other way, but that's what Stampin' Up! Said. So put the fold in first. They say it creates even pressure without moving your paper. Like your paper's gonna stay in place better that way. I will take their word. They are the experts. All right, pull that out. There's your little piece. I think we're done with the cut and emboss machine. All right, bring over your scrap again, and this time we're gonna use Smoky Slate. Each day we've stamped the jar in a different color. I like that. Gives you some variety. All right, stamp it in Smoky Slate. Get your ornaments and let's stamp those. Oh, I'm doing the wrong color. I'm doing the wrong color. Hold on. No, they need to be Smoky Slate. Come back, come back. Use your chamois. Man, I'm glad I caught that. I caught it because we're going to use Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Blend to add a little bit of detail to it. I was thinking, wait a minute. All right, get it inked up. Stamp it. Now, grab that Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Blend. I'm going to use a light Cherry Cobbler and color in those little tiny hearts. You know, this is the fun part of teaming up. You learn things from other demonstrators. I've been a demonstrator for 16 years, scrapbooker for even longer than that, and I still am learning new things. I'm going around the edge of the jar, and I think I'm going to go just around the outside edge of my ornaments with Wink of Stella. Be careful not to touch the ink, because remember, it's going to pull that ink out. All right, let's punch it. Like that. And then we'll take our liquid glue, if I can get it to work. There we go. And add that Cherry Cobbler jar lid. All right, let's give that a few minutes to dry. Now we still need this, and you may need a longer piece. Let's see, we're gonna ink up, notice it says, sending a jar full of cheer. So on this stamp, we're not going to ink up cheer. I do have enough room. And it's really easy to do this when you have our photopolymer, because you can see where you're inking. See how I've left cheer off the edge? It did not get inked. And so now I'm just going to stamp that right there. Oh, I didn't stamp it very straight, did I? Let's try that again. Let's do that again. I don't like that. I mean, I'm going to cut it, but if I stamp it straight, it's going to make cutting it so much easier. Much better. All right, so then take your trimmer. Now, the instructions do tell you the measurement of this piece, but I'm just gonna, chop it. I'm just gonna chop it. And I think it's a little bit easier to stamp on a bigger piece like we did than to cut this little skinny piece out and stamp it. I mean, it is photopolymer so you can see, so it's not terribly hard, but I don't know, it's a little bit easier if you do it that way. All right, now get all your supplies for embossing. We do need to clean this. Let's clean it really good. Okay. And this time we just need to ink the cheer. Now I'm going to take this tiny scrap and rub it with my embossing buddy. That should release any static that's on there. I'm going to ink up the word cheer, and I'm going to stamp it right there. All right. Now grab your white embossing powder. Okay. And oh yeah, these come with your, this is the, let me put that in there. This is the Embossing Editions kit. And this little piece right here, I'm gonna grab my heat tool. This little tool right here are called reverse tweezers, and they hold onto your paper so you don't burn your fingerprints off. It's awesome, because I have done that so many times. All right, now we are gonna fussy cut this, and I'm gonna show you my trick for this. Instead of just taking our scissors and just willy-nilly hoping for the best, I'm gonna take my pencil and I'm gonna draw around like a bubble. Remember when we were kids and we used to do bubbles around our letters, or we would do bubble letters? That's what you're doing here. And this pencil line is gonna serve as the guide as you cut. The reason that this helps is because when you're cutting, if you make a mistake and you go in too far, or you go straight when you wanted to do a curve, or a curve when you wanted to go straight, you can't undo your cutting. But if you draw it first with your pencil, you can erase it if you make a mistake when you're drawing it out. And then once you have it perfect, boy, this is hard to hold. Let's see, let's try this. Then when you have it perfect with your pencil, no, that's not gonna work. You can just follow that line. You don't really have to think about what you're doing. Okay, you guys use a bigger piece. This tiny scrap was making it very, very difficult. All right, I think we're ready to put it all together. Let's put on our embossed piece right here like this. Oh, we forgot to grab our, you have a little cello bag with your die cuts. Grab that gray one, that smoky slate one. You're gonna need that. And then we've got our dimensionals. I'm gonna put that right there. I am gonna use, do I have them? Yes. These are called foam adhesive strips. I think they're really designed for shaker cards, but they work really well for long and skinny things like this. So I'm gonna pull one of those off. I've cut it just to about, I don't know, 2 inches maybe. Got to pull the backing off. And we'll put that there. Hopefully I put that on the right side. Yeah. Okay, sending a jar full of, now before we put this on, grab your twine. Here's mine. And we're gonna do this, cut one piece and then cut another piece. All right, this is another great way to use your reverse tweezers, to hold down things when you need to tie things on like this. So that will help hold it kind of in place, hopefully. Okay. Now, if you don't want to do this, because this is a little tedious, it's cute, but it's a little bit tricky. So if you don't want to do this, just tie a bow and stick it on with a glue dot. Okay, that's the alternative. All right, so now let's get this all straightened out. I don't know about you guys where you are, but it's very warm here and muggy, and it does not feel like Christmas at all. Oh, but you know, in December, I'm going to be so glad when I pull out these projects and say, oh yes, when I was sweating my booty off in July, I made these Christmas projects, and now I can use them for Christmas cards. You're gonna thank me. All right, put that right there, and then get a mini dimensional. And boy, this piece is very little, so we're gonna need, hopefully, a little mini dimensional is small enough. I don't know. No, I don't think it is. Okay, well then we're gonna use glue dots instead. You can take the glue dots and stack them up, and it will create a little bit of height. Not as much as a dimensional, but it will give it just a little bit of lift. Let's see if we put that right there. All right, very good. Now we're gonna use our dots, and this time we're gonna use the blue ones. The Secret Sea, they kind of bring out that gray color in the shiplap there. I think they go pretty good. They're moody. I say Secret Sea is moody. A very moody color. Cherry Cobbler is a moody color too. Okay, almost done. We've just got to take this and we're going to stamp or adhere this across like this. All right, now I believe we're going to stamp on the inside. Why can't I remember today? Yes, we've got a great sentiment for this one. May your heart be filled with joy. So Cherry Cobbler, I'm going to put it down here. Like that. May your heart be filled with joy. You've got a little bit of room, just a couple sentences. No need to write a book in your Christmas cards, unless you like to. And put that right there. All right, there you go, you guys. I hope you like these cards. They're really different. I love them. I love the color difference. and a really creative way to use these little images from Jolly Holly. All right, remember, join me tomorrow. Tomorrow, let's see, today's Thursday. Tomorrow I'll be live at 2 o'clock with 2 more projects. And then Saturday will be the finale, the last 2 projects. All right. Oh, remember, if you shop today, you get free shipping over $75. You get the free PDF over $50. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the link, go back to my blog, and you'll find photos and links to the other projects. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.